Hello and welcome to the opening round of the Neucom Touring Car Championship here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For those unfamiliar with how the race weekend format works, the feature race starting grid is based on the qualifying results as seen here on the screen. The top 20 in the 125km feature race will score points, as the starting grid for the sprint race from that top 20 will be reversed. Only the top 15 drivers can score points in a sprint race. The main story heading into this weekend is the difficulty in overtaking in a new generation body since the last. Many have complained that they found themselves locking up the brakes on the entry to turn 3 especially, which leaves them vulnerable for other cars to pass. This has been one of the most common growing pains with the new regulations for this season, which raises some new challenges for everyone inside the paddock. The series will once again introduce a safety car system in the series, where if there's any car that's sitting outside or near the racing surface, one will be thrown for everyone to slow down and pace around the track for a couple of laps. That being said, there's been a lot of concern about safety within those safety cars in the past. The only reason that's been introduced in the past was because of the ugly incident in 2020 in the Saitama Ken racetrack, where it took two-time champion Rena Hirose out for the rest of the season and half of the 2021 season until she eventually came back to have an absolute tear, winning almost every single feature and sprint race and locking out the championship before the finale even started. Let's hope these new safety measures in these new race cars would actually bring out the best in our drivers' behaviors. As a result of abandoning the Saitama Ken racetrack, Suzuka will be the new venue for the round of Japan later in the year. 20 laps shall decide today's feature race here at Road America, so let's get down to the starting line for the start of the new 2022 Neucom Touring Car Championships. Eugene DeMax will take the green flag here as the 2022 Neucom Touring Car Championship is underway. Outside pole sitter Blake Warren had a pretty decent start. Four-time defending drivers champion Rena Hirose is going to follow DeMax into turn 1. Hirose looks like she might make the move entering turn 1 right now, but she's got Blake Warren all over her right side, and she's not going to be able to make any opportunities to pass whatsoever. DeMax is going to try to run away with the lead as long as he can so that everyone else can do battle on track. This is a very good start for the number 23 team. Meanwhile, battle for second begins to rage on between Warren, Hirose, and Yuki Tamura, the sophomore, in the Neucom Motors team. Tamura was a rookie last year in the series when Yoshiko Sakamoto was canned from the number 6 halfway through the year because of her inept driving ability, according to Kira Hirose, the team owner. Tamura right now off to a splendid start to the year. She's in place of Kei Nagase, who took a sabbatical for the season to call the shots in the strategy. That's correct. And she just took second from teammate Hirose. So this Tamura's talent is already starting to shine over here. The chaos from the first lap has seen some cars off the track as like Max Kanati, Kiki Laukkanen, and someone else in the LG Hyundai, having slid off the track in the carousel, they all managed to make it back on the track just fine. But this is the chaos of the Touring Car Championship, is that everyone doesn't seem to get settled in until the end of the first lap. And so at the end of the first lap, now we're in lap 2, Tamura looks to make the move on Blake Warren. Warren's been a long-time veteran in the Touring Car Championships up till 2018, where he had to take a sabbatical from an injury in the off-season. But now, look at Hirose going to try to take advantage of the mistake, but Warren makes a mistake himself, and that's going to leave Tamura to take the second position. Now Warren's under attack from Hirose, and maybe Vincenzo Focasato, if Focasato's going to take advantage of that also. We're going to have to see what happens from here, but oh, that's an issue. Kirk Vandenberg has been given a black flag for an illegal overtake at the drop of the green flag. You're not supposed to pass anyone before the start-finish line in the green flag, and he did that with Nathan Ormond earlier, and he will have to serve a stop-and-go penalty, so not a very good start for the third-year veteran of Vandenberg. He hopes that this race will get somewhat better for him. Meanwhile, the battle for third now continues to intensify between Warren Focasato, and Hunter Veslowski. Hunter Veslowski was the runner-up in the 2021 Drivers' Championship, but it looks like he's going to continue battling with the 0-2 from here on out. It looks like Focasato has cleared him. Warren is going to lose third to Rena Hirose, so we'll see what makes of that. Dylan Schwallenberg is a rookie in the series. Kiki Laukkanen also a rookie in the series. Laukkanen goes wide. Schwallenberg doesn't give it enough room. Scott Roush is around hard into the tire wall. Goes to 5. Oh, and that's going to collect the 77 of Barsha Johansson. And that's going to be our first safety car of the year. Not even 2 laps in, and we're already under a safety car. And the wounded number 77, Barsha Johansson, Johansson hasn't been given much attention in preseason testing, unlike his teammate Sebastian Van Dalen, the son of Akari Van Dalen. And this kind of just goes to show how little attention that Barsh has had. You'd think his qualifying result would have been better, but from this point onward, he's going to have to start 36th in the sprint race. Well, looking at this wreck again, Schwallenberg got really close to the back end of Laukkanen, the former Finnish rally driver, and, well, I really don't know who to fault here. Roush has got some damage to the right side door as well. We'll see what the stewards have to say to that. As far as I'm aware, that might be under investigation for the rest of the race. Demax will take the green flag on lap number 4, but that was not a very good start at all, as Yuki Tamura is going to take advantage of this opportunity to try to make a pass for the inside for the race lead. On this lap, this is probably one of the only chances to do it now. Contact between Jeffrey Finguy and Vincenzo Focasato. They seem to get it together, but Demax again gets away with the lead out of turn 3. Demax again showing his innate ability to maintain the lead as long as he can. His consistency in his rookie year won him 5 feature races in a row, but it led him to fall out later in the season. Hunter Fislavsky sends it in on Reno Hirose, who then Hirose blocks him off. Those two have been bitter rivals on and off the track in the paddock, and what we're seeing here is just one of several examples of this. Hirose trying to hold off Fislavsky as long as she can here, and Fislavsky runs wide in turn 7. That's going to allow Hirose to go through, and that's going to allow Focasato to go through as well. Fislavsky's looked very fast this weekend, but the amount of mistakes he's making right now is not going to help him at all in the feature race. Hirose did lose the 3rd position to Blake Warren. Warren is now up to 3rd once again. Dylan Schwallenberg, who we mentioned earlier was involved in that wreck, is going to send it in 3 wide between himself, Sean Angel, and Yoshiko Sakamoto for what is 22nd place. So Schwallenberg already trying to make moves very early in the race. He was a Formula Beta driver who was in the Red Bull Junior program but didn't get very far, mainly because he was lacking the funds. Schwallenberg is going to dispatch Sakamoto, I believe? Not quite. Sakamoto is still all over the back end of Sean Angel in the Midnight United Racing car, who, by the way, Angel was riderless as a result of the departure of Finguy Saitomi Motorsports. That was a Ferrari-based team before they moved to the new body, which was bought out by Grassuculo, the team owner of Scuderia Grassuculo, being the Alfa Romeo team. And so that situation left Angel without a ride, and Schwallenberg having moved over to the Red Bull BMW, and yes, he's going to dispatch Sakamoto right then and there. Angel punching well above his weight, same with Schwallenberg here. Battle for 2nd now, burst between Blake Warren and Yuki Tamura, excuse me. Now, Tamura has the better exit off of turn 1 into turn 3 now. Warren, to no avail. See, this is a big struggle that I've talked about earlier in the pre-race about this. Kirk Vandenberg is in trouble again. Looks like he has some front-end damage from a collision under yellow, and he's being held in his pit stall for a very long period of time. The Petronas Mercedes team is trying to look into what is wrong with the car, but he's going to be in there for several minutes, and he's going to lose a bunch of laps as a result of this. Today just keeps going from bad to worse for him. Speaking of bad to worse, Scott Roush, despite the damage that he has right now, is trying to battle it out with rookie Vince Freeze and longtime veteran Hudson Williams in the Baxter Motorsports car. Now, with that damage, Roush has been unable to really hold the speed down the straightaway. Road America is a very speed-heavy track, and with that kind of aero damage that Scott Roush has on his right side door and fenders, it's very tough to keep that speed going down the straightaway. As you can see here, he's getting passed up by Hudson Williams, who is, by the way, 43 years old in this series, the oldest driver on the grid. He didn't find anywhere else to go but the Baxter Motorsports team. Tamura now on the attack of Eugene DeMax, heading into lap 6, I believe. This is going to get really interesting here if Tamura can try to pull a move on DeMax relief. She decides to stick behind him, but you have to wonder if the same issue is going to keep happening. As I talked about earlier, Blake Warren now looking to take advantage of Tamura's mistake. Is Tamura going to lock up? No! Warren locks up into 3, and that's going to allow Reno Hirose to take advantage of this opportunity as well. So, while Tamura's going to stick behind DeMax for the time being, DeMax trying to lead every single lap that he can today to get the lead lap bonus, which is another 5 points, and that's huge. Especially pretty early in the championship hunt. Now, I mentioned Vince Freeze earlier. Vince Freeze is a former modifieds driver out of New Jersey. it was a pretty questionable hire from Midnight United Racing to take him on, but Freeze was absolutely interested in trying out new horizons, and a Touring Car Championship is probably one of the last things you would expect someone to go into. Now, I would say at the least that they're at least going to try to develop Freeze so that he can maybe get hired onto a better team in the future. However, what we can see from his performances is yet to be seen, as right now he was battling with Lula Lamona, the other BWT Renault Sport, that teammates with Scott Roush, who is still behind Hudson Williams at the moment. We have a battle for position now between Patrick Smith, and I believe that is Arturo Morales in the 63, and that's Kei Takahashi, the rookies filling in for who was supposed to be Yuki Tamura in that car before Nagase announced her departure from the series to be a team strategist. And I'm sorry, that was not Morales, that was the 44 of Hunter Veslovsky. Veslovsky tried to get around Patrick Smith, who, by the way, Patrick Smith has the fastest lap in the race, so that extra point is going to help the 66 some. So Veslovsky again unsuccessful in overtaking. And there's Morales, as Jeffrey Finguy is going to send it down his inside for what is, I believe, 9th place at the moment. I could be wrong on this. Finguy around the outside of turn 7? No, he's not going to get anywhere with that. He might be able to dispatch him in turn 8 if Morales makes a mistake. He kind of does, but Finguy needs the ideal line to be able to clear him, and he does. So Jeffrey Finguy on his revenge tour against Scuderia Grosseculo, he's definitely trying to hunt down Vincenzo Focusato, who's the only Scuderia Grosseculo in front of him. Tamura locks up the brakes in the Canada corner. That's going to allow Blake Warren to take advantage of this opportunity right now. Rena Hirose has been running all over his back end, and this is probably Warren's chance to try to get away from the defending driver's champion, as Hirose herself even makes a mistake, almost goes off the track. Side by side goes Tamura and Warren, and this could really determine how the rest of the race goes for Yuki Tamura. If she's not able to maintain a position, they are deadlocked side by side, entering turn 1. Is Warren going to be able to dispatch her from second? No. Tamura is now able to maintain the second place on the track, as Warren again with the lockup in 3. And that's going to guarantee that Hirose is going to pass him, maybe Focusato as well. So now it's a 3-car heat for the final place on the podium. We're hardly halfway through the race right now. Oh boy. I thought Warren was going to get brake checked by Hirose, and that would have been an accordion effect with Focusato. But very sportsmanlike driving by all three, racing each other very hard but very respectfully. That is the one thing that the Neucom Touring Car Championship loves to see. The respectable racing that goes out there, aside from the safety car that happened on lap 2, which we'll mention probably later. This is a battle for the last points-paying position in Veronica Ryan and Marco Costeca, who Costeca, being Schwallenberg's teammate and veteran, the Red Bull BMWs are trying to have a bit of a resurgence from their downfall in the previous generation. It looks like Schwallenberg's going to try to get around Ryan for what is going to be 21st place. Ryan fighting for every possible spot she can on the track right now for TRD, and Schwallenberg sends it down the inside of turn 7, but thought better of it. He knew better from the first time with the collision with Kiki Lakkinen that saw him out of the race earlier. Very wise by the very young American there of Schwallenberg. Veronica Ryan is doing everything she can to keep Schwallenberg at bay, so he wouldn't probably get a top 20. By the end of lap 13, we get in the green flag pit stops. It looks like Yuki Tamura is not going to pit. Focusato will not pit, and Finguy will not pit as well. So that's 3 cars not pitting at the end of the lap. That's Tatiana Rosales in the 35, the rookie in Team Nismo. Everyone else, however, seems to be coming down pit road. So this is a very interesting strategy call by Kei Nagase, who's calling the shots here in the strategy camp. But we're going to have to see how pit stops go. And, oh, that's a collision there between the 63 and the 22. A complete disaster for Max Canati and Arturo Morales. Oh, no. Morales went over on pit road. That's going to be terminal damage to the 63. We have never seen a car roll over on pit road like this before. And Max Kanati is going to be off just as bad by having the entire front end removed. So now it looks like a modified, as he is sent back out on the track. He lost a ton of positions because of the damage he sustained with the collision of the 63. Kanati was pretty upset on the release time compared to Morales' entry point, and well, I can tell that the stewards would also agree with this. The following lap, the rest of the drivers that did not pit will pit on the end of lap 14, so now we're going to be close to 6 laps to go here and see how this battle pans out. Yuki Tamura now going to exit pit road. Let's see if... Where's Yuji Demax on track? Has she jumped Demax? As we can see in the frame. Here in a couple of seconds. Yes, she has. She's jumped Demax for the lead. Nagase's strategy has paid off dividends for Yuki Tamura. Now the question is she going to be able to hold off Demax on the cold tires for only 1 lap? Because we all know how hard it is to pass with these cars right now. And meanwhile, Jude Harris in the Hirachi is having a lot of trouble gaining control on the track. It's probably one of the only off-track excursion that I've seen out of her all race. And things have not been going well for her at all this afternoon. And we can only hope it gets better from here. Tamura now under a lot of pressure from Demax and Renato Hirose. Hirose pitted with Demax on the end of lap 13. So we're going to get close to about 5 laps to go here. Demax is now going to challenge Tamura. Oh, big mistake from Demax. That's going to leave Hirose to take advantage of the opening. This could be huge for Renato Hirose to get that podium. 1-2 finish maybe for Neucom Motors, but there are no team orders in place right now between Hirose and Tamura. I think the most important thing right now is just to get the Constructors' Championship up and running for them as far as I'm concerned. Fabio Villavasa currently is the fastest car on track. He does not have the fastest lap of the race, but he is looking to get around Tatiana Rosales without a hitch, really. I don't know what exactly Scuderia Grosso-Culo did with this car, but my god, is it fast today. He's going to try to go around the outside of Rosales. Wow. Sticking right to her side, maybe? No. He's going to slot right back behind the 35. That's Ria Lucas, his teammate, right behind as well. And this is a battle for what I believe is 11th place. And this would net Vita Bassa 9th on the starting grid if he were to finish there right now. Vita Bassa, known for the drama that happened with Fingai Saitomi last year when he was with Ferrari. He was a rookie last year, but love the short drama with Jeffrey Fingai specifically for some apparent reason until Grosso-Culo bought out the final 3-car spot that was open because of Fingai Saitomi's departure into the Endurance Series. But Vita Bassa right now gonna get around Rosales without a hitch, as I mentioned earlier. And he looks to pull away from the 35 without making a mistake. Probably not, as Rosales takes advantage of his mistake right here. But, my god, is that car flying out there. And look at this, Vita Bassa right now just overtaken, and there goes Rio Lucas, gonna try to take advantage as well. Lucas having abandoned his English citizenship to run under Italy, at least for this year. Looking to overtake Rosales for what is 12th place. So it's going to be really, really tough to see if he's going to be able to pass her. I don't think that's going to happen. Rosales is going to hold him off right then and there. And this is a big battle for what I believe is within the top 5. The 44 versus the 8 versus the 6 versus the 3. Or I'm sorry, that must be the 88 of Mitchell Carter, and it is. And this race is far from over as far as battles are concerned. Hunter Veslowski has failed to overtake Blake Warren. Warren has done a great job holding off everyone as much as he can. Meanwhile, Takahashi doing the best she can to get around Mitchell Carter, who's in his sophomore season with GM Team USA. He was a development driver, actually, in Midnight United Racing a year ago, and performed rather admirably despite not scoring very many points at all. And this is very aggressive by Takahashi. She sends it down the inside, makes contact with Mitchell Carter. And will this overtake be successful here? Is she going to be able to clear him? She blocks him off cleanly. Oh my goodness, right in the king. That is a very dangerous spot to throw to block. While they're losing time to the cars ahead, Takahashi, I think, is more concerned about getting around the 88. Oh man, that was impressive stuff coming out of the number 6. I don't think I've seen that kind of aggressive driving in a while work out successfully, although it's gonna all come undone by Carter getting around her in the Canada corner. As 2 laps earlier. 3 laps to go now, and look at the massive gap Vito Bassa has on the group behind him as he's gonna enter turn 5. Trouble for Vito Bassa, that's a brake failure! Oh, and he slams into the tire barrier. Yellow flag in Sector 1. I don't think they're going to throw a safety car because of where he stopped the car. We're going to have a look at this again. If you can listen to the audio here. Yeah, Vito Bassa, his brakes are gone. There's nothing he could do about it. Complete disaster for the 01. And he's going to be he's visibly upset about it when he climbed out of his race car. In fact, threw his helmet on the windshield as soon as he climbed out. He was definitely okay after he got released from the Union Field Care Center. As a result of his DNF, this will net Dylan Schrollenberg the last points-paying position. He's got nobody behind him. For a while, he was sticking around Sean Angel to try to battle for 20th, but that no longer matters to him. Schrollenberg, as it stands, will start from the pole in a sprint race. This could be huge for Dylan Schrollenberg if he's going to be able to maintain the top 20 without anything go wrong for him. The next car behind him is the 19 of Naomi Osakawa, who is also a rookie in the series. So despite that moderately aggressive incident between himself and the 5, Schrollenberg could find himself on the front row. Coming towards the white flag now, Yuki Tamura and Reno Hirose are in a dead heat. Again, no team orders are in play here between Hirose and Tamura. So this is a test to see if Yuki Tamura can handle the pressure of the 4-time defending Drivers' Champion. Tamura trying to lead Hirose into a mistake, maybe entering turn 3. And yes, Hirose does make a mistake. She locks up into 3. This is exactly what Yuki Tamura needed. To get away from her teammate as best she can. These new cars have been a struggle all weekend long. And this is going to pay out dividends from strategist Kei Nagase, who is absolutely elated by this emotion that she must be feeling right now. Same with Tamura. This strategy has worked itself out beautifully. Tamura now leading through turn 6 and now into 7. Demax trying to close in behind the 1 of Hirose, maybe to split up the 1-2 finish. He's gonna score more points than Hirose because of the pole position and Ledmo's lap bonus. That's going to net him another 10 points. He'll at least outscore Hirose in that part, but I think he wants a little bit more than that if he wants to actually surpass Yuki Tamura in the points. But that's left to really show if he is absolutely able to make the pass. I don't think he's going to be able to do it at all. Tamura still trying to pull the gap on Hirose as we head into Canada corner for the final time. No mistakes here for Yuki Tamura, and none at all. Around the last couple of sets of corners here, and she's done it. Heading out the final corner for the last time in the feature race, Yuki Tamura for Neucom Motors is going to get her first Neucom Touring Car Championships victory with the brilliant strategy from Kei Nagase here at Elkhart Lake. A fantastic victory for the number 2 team, and a brilliant effort by Reno Hirose to round out the 1-2 finish. Tamura's amazing performance today is going to net her the 60 points that she very much deserves. Hirose will round out second, as mentioned earlier. Demax will round out the podium. As I mentioned earlier, he will score 5 more points than Hirose because of his pole position and most laps bonus. Vincenzo Focusato, in his first start in Neucom Touring Car Championship, is going to round out in 4th. Patrick Smith is going to round out the top 5, the fastest lap of the race. Jeffrey Finguy, Blake Warren, Hunter Vislavsky, Mitchell Carter, and Kei Takahashi will round out your top 10. Tatiana Rosales, Rio Lucas, Nathan Ormond, Bosi Markjanovic, Veronica Ryan will be the top 15. Your top 5 starting grid for the sprint race will be Bud Fuchs, Marco Costeca, Murilo Souza Cardoso, Sean Angel, and Dylan Schwallenberg, who is very lucky to have scored those points today. As we now head down to the starting grid for the sprint race here at Road America. Dylan Schwallenberg will lead the field here to the green flag here at Road America for the 12-lap, 75-kilometer sprint race here, with a top 15 will only score. Pretty good start there by Sean Angel and teammate Marco Costeca, but let's see if Costeca will be able to overtake teammate Schwallenberg into turn 1. Is he going to check up? Yes, he will. I think he's a little bit more concerned about Angel there. And yeah, Angel's going to try to take the inside entering turn 3, maybe. If Costeca doesn't... Oh, lock the brakes in 3! Yes, he does! And that's going to compromise his racing line a ton as Schwallenberg gets to run away with the lead. The exact same scenario as we've seen here in the feature race where Eugene DeMax was able to run away as long as he could. 3 wide now for second place between Murilo Souza Cardoso, Sean Angel, and Marco Costeca. Now, this is the nature of these sprint races. They're incredibly chaotic as we see contact there between Mitchell Carter and one of the Scuderia Grosso Culo cars. I don't remember who that was in particular, but it looks like Cardoso's going to fall down the grid. Nathan Orman looks to pass him for position as well. Cardoso went from 3rd all the way down to 6th to 7th place right then and there. So Schwallenberg again trying to run away here. Angel following suit, but there's a battle for 3rd now between Bosin Markijanovic and shoot, I'm trying to remember if it was Costeca or not. Meanwhile, this is a very disadvantageous line to take here in the kink. A lot of drivers check up here a lot, and they lose a ton of track position as a result of this. Now, you really can't afford to do this when you're in a top 15 position, just as Rio Lucas, Blake Warren, and I believe Vincenzo Focusato have all done right then and there. As I said before, this first lap is incredibly chaotic. I'm surprised nobody has gotten into an accident yet with one another, as we're still battling throughout the midfield to see who can really take home this top 15 points paying position. Lucas almost run wide by Tatiana Rosales. Another car went off the track. That was Cardoso again. More mistakes and a complete disaster of a start for Murilo Souza Cardoso, who was starting 3rd. And as I said, this is a complete disaster for the Volkswagen Motorsports camp, especially for Cardoso. Now he's fallen all the way to 11th at the end of the first lap. Now, Yuki Tamura looking to pass Max Kanani, who got repairs in time for the sprint race. He was almost sent to the back because of the terminal damage he had, but was able to pass tech inspection before then. Now, this is a really sketchy spot, especially for a top 20 position that doesn't pay out points at all, but the feature race winner trying to hold off as many cars as she can. She's trying to hold off Eugene DeMax, who was a pole sitter for the feature race, finished in 3rd in the last race. Sitting in the last points paying position right now is Vincenzo Focusato in the O2. That's 15th place. It's going to net him a grand total of a 1 point out of wherever he finished in the last race. It was 4th, I believe. Focusato off to a pretty alright start, actually, considering where he started in the sprint race. And Focusato, as a rookie, is looking pretty good today. Marco Costeca right now under pressure again from Bosin Markijanovic. Bosin Markijanovic, the rookie, the Finnish Israeli, who is an amputee racing driver, actually. He lost one of his legs in a rallying accident several years ago. And he's still racing like he's just as good as he was then, because he's still holding out against Costeca, a 3-year veteran in the series. Costeca doing the best he can, the Ukrainian, to battle out the Finn, and he will do so successfully. Great defense there by Marco Costeca in the 62 car here. Renato Hirose getting a little bit ambitious here with Tatiana Rosales, and that's not going to do her any good at all. Hirose cannot afford mistakes like this. She's going to continue to fall down the grid even further. She's going to fall down to 13th, maybe 14th to Blake Warren if he's going to be able to overtake her before Canada corner, but not quite. Hirose will at least keep that position, but she's dropped all the way down to 13th as a result of that mistake in the kink. Very ambitious of Hirose to try to make moves like that, but you can't do it in a new-gen car in a kink like this. Markijanovic again going for 3rd on Costeca. Those two have been going at it since the opening lap of the race, and Nathan Orman looks to take advantage of this opportunity as well, should one of them make a mistake. Kei Takahashi sitting right behind the number 3, as they both make a mistake, a rookie mistake, in fact, on the exit of turn 3, and that's going to allow Hunter Veslavsky, the Russian, to take advantage of this as well. He looks very fast in the sprint race right now. He started a little further back on the grid, and he's been making moves left and right. Expect a lot out of Hunter Veslavsky today. As the battle rages on, Nathan Ormond is doing the best he can to hold 3 cars off from position here, but he stands no chance here with Veslavsky, the runner-up from the Drivers' Championship last year. As it looks like teammate Mitchell Carter is looking to overtake Ormond as well. Ormond cannot afford these mistakes here. He's a rookie here in the GM Team USA car. And yeah, these mistakes are going to cost Ormond a lot if he's going to continue making mistakes like that. As Bud Fuchs is going to try to make a pass in the kink. Not the best choice there. Rosales looks to do the same as well. She thinks better of it. Smart move there by Tatiana Rosales to stand down for the time being. But Bud Fuchs is all over the back end of Nathan Ormond. Ormond is really falling apart here in the opening laps of this race. He's actually started within the top 10. He started 8th in a sprint race. As Kei Takahashi now trying to defend as best she can. She's using the inside line to defend from Hunter Veslavsky for what is 5th place. Mitchell Carter still hanging out around. He remembers what happened between him and Takahashi in the feature, where Takahashi sent it down his inside and almost wrecked in the carousel heading towards the end of the race. But Veslavsky's going to easily get around the 6. It looks like Mitchell Carter looks to do the same, as Bud Fuchs, as we see, take a bit of an excursion out in the sand. He'll be fine for the most part, it looks like. Yep, he's going to keep his position just fine on track. And Takahashi a little bit wide there in the carousel. This could mean bad news because here comes Mitchell Carter quickly approaching the number 6. Carter looking to go side by side with the 6. Is he going to back out? Yes, he will. He knows his lesson from how the other drivers have been unable to do this. Marco Costeca now, again, constantly been under pressure from Bosi Marchi, as drivers like to call him in the paddock, concerning his long last name. Veslavsky setting it down the inside for what is now 5th. And Veslavsky looks incredibly fast here in the sprint race. And it looks like Kei Nagase, or no, that's still Takahashi, excuse me. We're going to make the pass on Markianovic. Costeca is going to do the best he can to defend, because this could mean bad news for Sean Angel and Dylan Schwalberg. Angel is punching well above the weight of what's expected for Midnight United Racing, sitting in 2nd. This is exactly what we expect from Sean Angel in his performances with Fingai Saitomi, with several wins under his name in the last 6 to 7 years, in fact. Tatiana Rosales right now. She's a rookie in the Team Nismo camp. A lot of drivers want to currently, quote, fear her name because of her incredibly fast yet somewhat inconsistent results in preseason testing. As we see Murilo Susan Cardoso trying to make a pass on her in the kink, didn't quite work at all. Looks like Takahashi may have tried to move on Marchi, but not quite. Takahashi is not yet confident in the new body to make sure that she can make a pass. Oh, that might be a minor mistake. I don't know if that's going to allow Mitchell Carter to come in to play here. No, not at all. Doesn't open the door of opportunity for the 88 at all. Mitchell Carter is doing a great job in his sophomore season, especially in his first start, getting out of his rookie class from last year. Veslavsky now on Markianovic. Is he going to clear him into turn 7? That's going to be a little bit cutting it a bit close now. Veslavsky is the fastest car on track right now. He has the fastest lap, and he's consistently been faster than everyone else on the circuit. And rumor has it he could be lapping maybe 2 or 3 seconds quicker than the leaders, and that terrifies me because I don't know how much of his tires he's used up to this point. We're only on lap 3 or 4 of 12 here. So this kind of just goes to show the absolutely terrifying pace that the Petronas Mercedes can really put out here. And look at this. He's pulling a gap on Costeca right now as he's cleared him. I'd watch my mirror if I were you, Sean and Dylan. Costeca, again, under pressure from Bosi Marchi and Kei Takahashi. As the 6 looks to take the position from before. Now, will she be successful here? This is a really tough passing spot, apparently, for a lot of these cars. The previous generation, you could pass a lot easier here. Hasn't seemed to be the case for this weekend. But I guess what I said doesn't matter now. I should eat my own words because Takahashi's managed to get around Markianovic without much of a hassle here. Markianovic try to go pass her back? Probably not. He's unable to do that. Looks like we might be seeing some battles here between Geoffrey Finguy and Nathan Orman. Finguy has in fact dispatched him. So Finguy is looking pretty fast himself as well, as Rosales again makes the rookie mistake of trying to pass on the inside of the kink. And he's going to look to try to make a statement on why he's better than the Grossoculo cars at the moment. Cardoso now on Hirose. This is what I believe could be the last points fame position. Ooh, contact there between Blake Warren and Focusato. Or that's not Focusato, that's Rio Lucas. Focusato is just ahead there. Lucas almost wrecks the 8, and this is how he's going to pass him. I'm surprised the stewards haven't even looked at this at all. And that's a pretty controversial overtake if you ask me. Battle again for 4th between Takahashi and Kosteka. Marco Kosteka is doing everything he can to hold on. Look at this, Veslovsky, as you saw in the last frame, try to overtake Sean Angel. This could mean a lot of trouble here for Dylan Schwalenberg, heading towards the final laps of the race. We're at about 4 laps to go now in the heat race. This could be frightening here as, yes, Takahashi clears the 62 for a position. Big battle here within the top 10 now between Reno Hirose. Oh, this is very tight indeed. Focusato with an amazing overtake on the outside. Almost 3 wide in the kink. That was one of the most high-risk maneuvers I've ever seen here, and it pays out for Focusato. But as we turn our attention now to Hunter Veslowski, now on Schwalenberg, he's lapping times 3 seconds faster than him. I have no idea what Petronas has underneath that hood or what's on their tires right now, but this is incredible stuff from Hunter Veslowski, who, and like I said, he actually started 13th on the grid, so he's going from 13th to the lead if he's able to clear Schwalenberg off of turn 3, and he might just do it right here. So we're getting close to about 3 to 2 to go here. This is about 2 laps to go right now. And Schwalenberg fighting back again. Looks like Veslowski might try to conserve now that he's used his tires up to their maximum potential. Sean Angel looks to re-enter the fray. Takahashi might have something to say about this as well. But Veslowski clears Schwalenberg for the race lead. The only lead change of the race so far. We're just going to have to see where this goes from here, because Veslowski looks incredibly fast here today. And look at this gap he's pulling. Incredible stuff there from the Petronas Mercedes camp. And it looks like Veslowski is on a mission to leave this weekend with the championship lead. Because as it stands right now, he can absolutely do it. By only just a few points over Yuki Tamura, who is currently fighting for the last point fame position, as far as I'm concerned right now. Okay, Takahashi is also closing in on Sean Angel. Don't forget, this could be for the podium if Angel's not careful here. He might have used up his stuff as well. Speaking of this battle, with just a couple, now we're down to 2 to go. I apologize for the last lap. That was 3 to go. Takahashi now on Sean Angel for 3rd. Takahashi's also been very fast today as well in the sprint. And is she going to be able to clear him out of turn 3? No. Side by side as they're going to remain here. And I'm hearing complaints that Hunter Veslowski's tires are gone. And I guess that's what happens when you are just pushing it for lap after lap after lap. I had never seen this kind of talent come out of Veslowski before. We know he's been very consistent in the past to finish in the top 5 almost every weekend. But this is some unprecedented performances that I'm seeing out of Hunter Veslowski right here. And yeah, Schwalenberg's right on the back of him again. The tires are starting to look pretty weak on the number 44 as we head to the white flag for one last time here at Elkhart Lake. White flag is out in the air. Looks like Schwalenberg is going to beat him to the line to lead at the white. But this battle right here will determine who wins this race. Schwalenberg, in his first Neucom Touring Car Championship appearance, could win here. The The way these two are battling right now, this could bring Takahashi into the fray. This will be her first career win if she pulls this off as well. Schwalenberg backs out, knowing that he needs to save his stuff as well for the rest of the track. We're only about 20 seconds into the lap, and it's a 2-minute lap time that they need to set here. Maybe a little bit more than that. Slavsky trying to pull away as Schwalenberg under pressure from Takahashi into turn 5. Will she get anything out of it? Maybe, maybe not. That inside line is not very advantageous for Takahashi at all. And this is going to help Veslavsky out a lot. Pull out the gap as much as he can while trying to nurse the tires home. Try as they may, Takahashi looks very aggressive. She is pushing her car to the limit here. Veslavsky, one more time in the carousel. And Takahashi, she's right there. She could easily pass him in the king if she wants to. And she's side by side with him right now. This could be a mistake out of Takahashi if she's going to stick to his side. And it might be a mistake indeed. Yes, it is. Ooh, oh my goodness, they almost wrecked here on the kink. And that's going to allow Veslavsky to pull away once again. And this one might have sealed the deal for him. Sean Angel quickly approaching the battle for the lead that has been brewing for the last lap. But Veslavsky trying to nurse his tires home as best he can. Schwalenberg quickly closing again. Nail biter to finish this might be. Oh, this is intense. Is Schwalenberg going to be able to get around him? No, he locks up in the last corner. That's it. That's all she wrote. Hunter Veslavsky on the final corner, nurses the tires home, and an incredible 12-car gain is going to win the sprint race here at Road America, as Kei Takahashi barely beats out Schwalenberg at the line for second. What a race that was. Congratulations again to Hunter Veslavsky for winning the sprint. A well-earned victory for the Russian, and that will be a victory to be remembered for years to come. Takahashi will once again have to play second fiddle. Well, not once again, but this is the best finish that Takahashi has in a sprint race. Second place, incredible stuff. Same goes for Dylan Schwalenberg. He led well over half the race. He's going to get the 5 bonus points that he'll need in the championship. Angel in 4th, Kosteka 5th, Carter 6th. Finguy, pretty good run for him. He was 15th at the start. Will finish 7th. Bosi Markjanovic will finish in 8th. 9th is Vincenzo Focasato, started 17th. Tatiana Rosales will keep her top 10 spot where she started right from the start. Nathan Norman will come home 11th. Blake Warren at 12th. Rena Hirose 13th. Pretty solid performance for her. Merla Sousa Cardoso, a disaster. He went from 3rd to 14th. Imagine what that result would have been if he was able to pull through. Merla Sousa Cardoso in 14th. And of course, the top 15 will be Yuki Tamura. Pretty solid day for Tamura as well. She started in 20th. Heading to the Drivers' Championship, leaving Road America, Hunter Veslavsky will have the championship lead over Yuki Tamura by only 6 points. Third will be Kei Takahashi. Incredible weekend for the rookie sensation. Eugene DeMax will be in 4th, Reno Hirose in 5th. Hirose would have liked a better finish in DeMax for the weekend. Focasato, Finguy, Carter, Schwalenberg, his amazing weekend, debut weekend, net him 9th in the standings, tied with, Patrick Smith. Blake Warren will come home 11th in the standings for coming out of this weekend. Tie for 12th between Sean Angel and Marco Kosteka. 14th is Tatiana Rosales. A pretty good start for her rookie season. We'll just have to see where this goes as the year goes on. Nathan Norman will be, and Bosi Narkjanovic are 16th and 15th, respectively. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Rio Lucas, 17th. Veronica Ryan, pretty good weekend for her in the Toyota Racing Development, in 18th. Bud Fuchs, the rookie from Germany, 19th. And Merla Sousa Cardoso, the last driver to be in the points out of the top 20, will be in 20th with only 6 points in the standings. The next time we head over to Canada at Road Gatineau for round 2 of the Neucom Touring Car Championships. Until then, we'll see you next time.